Hey everyone, me again. I'm going to do part two in a multi-part video series all about some musical animals. So last time I did a drawing, I did this sheep over here playing guitar. I would like to add the next part of my little rock and roll band. I'm going to make another sheep, but I'm going to have them play bass guitar. So let's spend a few minutes talking about a bass guitar. So I am a musician and I like to play the bass guitar. It's not the only instrument I play, but it's probably one of my favorite instruments to play. And it's just like every other guitar, except it's a little bit bigger, a little bit beefier. The strings are thicker, the material's more solid. Still kind of the same shape. The headstock is bigger. The tuning pegs, the machine heads themselves are bigger, and typically there's only 4 strings on a bass guitar. So this is my bass guitar compared to my sheep's other guitar. They also have some sort of bridge, something down here to hang on to all those strings. They also have some combination of pickups, and they also have frets. Not all basses have frets. There's some basses, really cool basses actually, that are what they call fretless. They have no frets, and they make kind of a funny wow sound. Alright. So there's, you know what, I'm going to keep my thick marker. I was going to switch off, but instead I'm going to do thick strings. There we go. Basses have thick strings. So I'm going to put thick strings on here. And I'll take this to the end and connect it to the tuning peg, and there you go. There's my bass guitar, so you can see the difference. Alright, now I'm going to draw another sheep in here. I'm going to have my sheep playing bass guitar. Now, sheep are kind of basic animals, so I'm going to switch it up just a little bit. I'm not entirely sure how yet, but I don't want them to look exactly the same. So first thing I think I'll do is I think I'll change the position of the head. So maybe I'll, instead of going straight over this way, maybe I'll have this sheep kind of like looking down a little bit. So I'll draw that same kind of fish shape I drew before, but I'm going to go face down with it. Alright, so I'll draw my eye in here. And there's my sheep head, my sheep face shape, I guess. This is going to be kind of a crazy rock band, so I don't know, maybe I'll give this sheep a little hat. There used to be a guitarist named Slash who was famous because he always wore a top hat. So maybe I'll make a little kind of sheep version of Slash. I mean, he's not dead, I guess I shouldn't say. There was a guy, he's still around. And he wasn't famous for just playing with a hat, because he's actually a really accomplished guitar player. But for this drawing, for right now, my sheep is just going to have a top hat. And I'll draw the rest of my sheep here just like I did yesterday. Just kind of doing that wobbly shape. Alright, now when you play bass guitar, it's the same kind of thing. You have to have one arm coming over to manipulate the notes on the neck right here. So this arm will be the one that presses down all the notes. But over here, you don't quite play with picks. Over here, the way you play the bass is you have your hand, and generally what you do is you use 2 fingers. So I'm going to draw 2 fingers on my bass here. You make these 2 fingers, and then you kind of pluck it, you kind of walk. And so it's not as thrashy, as guitar can be. So I'm going to make my other sheep just kind of resting the palm of his hand on the top of his bass. That's a popular kind of way to play. So bass players also typically have a reputation for being calmer, steadier. They're holding down the rhythm, they're holding down the groove so that the guitar players and the keyboards can go really nuts on top of it. But in terms of artwork, I drew him with some very straight legs because that kind of creates his very straight personality, his very steady personality, I guess. Okay, now, in the last video I went looking for a pen and I couldn't find it, but here I got it. Check this out. This is a chisel tip Sharpie. Last time I was drawing, I was running out of juice because I was coloring in so much, but look at this one. Just a few lines, just a few strokes, and look at all that solid black. This has a really cool kind of long, sharp edge to it, so you can just put in a couple lines and be done, rather than yesterday's video where I was like really kind of scrubbing in that color. This chisel tip is really good for just kind of quick fill. Isn't that cool? I don't know how the Sharpie people do it, but they come up with some really cool markers. So I'm just kind of going in here, finish off my sheep. You know, I wish I made this sheep wear glasses. I think that would have been cooler to have a sheep wearing sunglasses. Cool rock star sheep. Maybe I'll do a sheep tomorrow wearing glasses or something. Right now, I don't think I can change course yet unless I took out a bunch of white out. White out and Sharpies don't always play nice together. It's like the forces of light and dark fighting it out. Okay, so there's my sheep for today. He's playing the bass. Tomorrow, I think I will draw a final sheep musician, a sheep drummer. So make sure you check back to see that. Thanks very much.